After I left her house that evening, I couldn't stop thinking about everything that had happened. It was like a dream, meeting her family, sharing a meal, feeling welcomed as if I had always belonged there. The next day at college, I kept replaying the moments in my head. I remembered how her little brother had shyly asked me about my favorite video games and how Aisha had laughed when I tried to explain my terrible cooking skills. It was these small moments that made everything feel so real. Aisha and I started talking more often, texting about our day, sharing silly jokes and plans for the future. I realized how much we had in common and how comfortable I felt around her. A few days later, she invited me again, this time to help her with a school project. When I arrived, her mother was baking fresh cookies, and the whole house smelled like vanilla and chocolate. We sat at the dining table with books spread out everywhere, working together while stealing glances and laughing at each other's mistakes. Her father walked in and asked if I wanted to join him for a walk in the garden. I agreed, and as we strolled among the blooming flowers, he shared stories about Aisha's childhood, how she loved painting, how she was always curious and kind-hearted. Hearing those stories made me love her even more. By the time I left, the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Aisha hugged me goodbye, her eyes sparkling. "Thank you for being here," she said softly. That night, I lay awake thinking about how lucky I was. Invited into her world, meeting her family, sharing laughter and quiet moments, it felt like the beginning of something truly special. Few days after that, Aisha called me early in the morning. "Come over," she said with excitement in her voice. "I want to show you something special." Curious and eager, I didn't hesitate. When I arrived, she was waiting at the gate with a big smile. "Follow me," she said, grabbing my hand gently. She led me to the rooftop of her house, a small, cozy place with fairy lights strung all around. The sun was just setting, casting a golden glow over everything. There were cushions and blankets spread out, and a little speaker playing soft music. "This is where I come to think," she explained, "and sometimes, just to get away from everything." We sat down together, the city noise fading into the background. We talked about our dreams, fears, and the future. She told me about her desire to travel the world, see new places, and write stories about them. I shared my own dreams, how I wanted to build a life full of happiness and meaning, with her by my side. At one point, she looked at me seriously. "You know, inviting you here was a big step for me. My family means everything to me, and letting you in means I trust you." Her words touched my heart deeply. I held her hand and promised, "I'll always be here for you, no matter what." As the stars began to twinkle above, we stayed on the rooftop, wrapped in warmth of blankets, of friendship, and something more. Yesterday felt different from all the other days. It was the kind of day I had been secretly hoping for but never thought would come so soon. My girlfriend, Aisha, had invited me to her house for the very first time. The moment she told me, my heart started racing with excitement and nerves. What if I made a bad impression? What if her family didn't like me? These thoughts kept swirling in my mind as I got ready. I dressed carefully, making sure I looked neat and presentable. I wanted to show her family that I respected them and their daughter. As I reached her house, I took a deep breath and walked up to the door. Her mother opened the door with a warm smile, instantly easing my worries. Welcome, come in, she said gently. The house smelled of freshly cooked food, spices, warm bread, and something sweet from the kitchen. Aisha greeted me with a hug. She looked beautiful, her smile brighter than ever. We walked into the living room where her father and younger brother were sitting. Everyone was so kind and welcoming that my nervousness slowly faded. We all sat down together. Her mother had prepared a feast, biryani, kebabs, and a delicious dessert called gulab jamun. As we ate, her family asked me questions about my studies, my job, and my plans for the future. They seemed genuinely interested, and I felt honored to share my story. After dinner, Aisha took me on a small tour of the house. She showed me pictures of her childhood, her school certificates, and even the little souvenirs she had collected over the years. Her room was cozy, filled with books and posters of places she dreamed of visiting. Sitting there with her, I felt closer to her than ever before. It was as if I was getting to know her on a deeper level, beyond just our dates and messages. This was her world, and she was inviting me to be a part of it. Before I left, Aisha held my hand tightly. "Thank you for coming," she whispered. "I'm so happy you're here."